down. What was it like from your perspective? They just throw you in there. Was there any warning or lead time on there?
Yeah, when Mark went down, they obviously let me know that, I was the next man up, and so I saw it as an opportunity for sure, and, unfortunately we didn't get it done.
How'd you feel about your performance tonight when you were out there?
Disappointed. I think I definitely left some stuff out there, but definitely an opportunity to grow from it and learn from it.
How do you shake off any nerves that might come in with that, knowing that you're coming in, second man in against a ranked opponent out there?
Yeah, I try and stay grounded in my faith and who I am in Christ, and so that's what keeps me grounded and helps me not be so nervous when I'm out there.
Anything Mark tell you when you were going in?
Yeah, he was encouraging me and, letting me know just to command the huddle, do what I need to do to get it done.
How difficult was it to get in there like that, in that spot, with everything on there, just kind of throw in there like that?
Yeah, it's tough, but it's football, and those are opportunities you dream of. So I wish I could have executed better.
What was the message in the locker room?
Just like I was saying, there was a lot of opportunity we left out there, and a lot of areas that we can grow from. So I'm excited to watch the film and learn from it and grow from it.
How do you bounce back from a loss like this, where it was in your grasp?
I think with the bye week coming up, there's a lot of things that we're gonna be able to tune up and fix up. So,
anything in particular for yourself that you really want to work on going forward?
I think just the little things. There's a few things out there, like on the screen, just staying in it, staying over top the ball and throwing strikes. And so, like I said, this bye week will be a great opportunity.
You seem pretty close on those a lot of those throws that didn't connect. I mean, it seemed like you're right there. Do you feel like just like a little bit off, or how would you kind of review those misses?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, maybe a little off, but a miss is a miss. So I got to hit those.
So you go into the game at a time where you did. How do you calm your mind and make sure that you don't have too many jitters in a moment like that, where you're not given a lot of time to really prepare yourself, maybe as much as somebody else would?
Yeah, I would say my faith calms my mind, and just my, the ability to just know that I am a child of Christ, and that He has laid His life on the cross for me to be able to go do this.
Was Mark back on the sideline at all, or was he totally gone?
Yeah, he was on the sideline encouraging me, and did a good job helping me lead and encourage.
Was it clear that you were going to be the guy the rest of the way, or was there a chance? Was he still trying to get back in there?
I mean, you never know. Obviously, we were trying to figure out what was going on, so who knows?
You've played a lot of football. I guess whether the performance is good or bad, I guess how do you kind of keep your, not from overreacting to maybe a set of plays or a game, and again, whether it be good or bad, how do you just kind of stay the course? And is it conversations? Is it just honest analysis?
Yeah, I think honest analysis is a good way to put it. I think Coach Lester does an incredible job when we're able to watch the film and look at it from a perspective of this is a great opportunity for us to grow. And so I think Coach Lester does a great job prior in the film room.
Limited, passing game and the running game.
Yeah, the key was, just limit the big plays. They had a few in the second half that we got to work on, but the key was just to limit the big plays overall.
Indiana, the team is extremely explosive, and for you guys to be able to hold them to very minimal explosive plays, I know there's not a ton of positives you can take away in a moment, but what does that say about the defense being able to kind of limit a very aggressive offense that can put up a lot of points?
Yeah, they are a good football team. We worked extremely hard during the game, during the week with preparation. We just came up a little bit short today, but everyone definitely fought and gave it their all for sure.
What happened on that last drive of the first half? It looked like they were running out the clock, and then suddenly they get 3 points.
Yeah, I think they got a big gash on the run play, big chunk play, and then we were playing man and just, they were better, I guess you could say. The receivers were good, and we just weren't good enough on that drive. They came up with 3 points.
After Drew misses the field goal, what was the message? Still 13-13. You probably thought you were going to take the lead after your pick.
Yeah, just put out the fire. That's kind of the mentality. And we didn't do that. We didn't do that in the first half. On a tip, offense had a tip ball. They got at the 20, and we didn't put out the fire. They had 2 plays, touchdowns. So, we just got to be better at limiting those type of things when the game comes like that.
Can you tell me what's going through your mind when you get that interception? That's your first Hawkeye interception, right?
Second one. I had one last year.
You have one
but
last year? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's going through your mind when you get that?
Just try to get as many yards for the offense. Try to get in field goal range. Try to maybe even score. Just do whatever I can do to help the team.
Do you think you had the momentum after that pick? It sure seemed like it.
Yeah. Momentum's kind of a weird thing in college football. You think you have the momentum, and the next play they come right at you. So just we all got to be better as a whole team. We just weren't good enough.
And knowing that, I mean, these guys were ranked at home, and I don't know, does that make it hurt even more knowing you were right there?
Yeah, I think that does hurt a little bit. We've had 2 games now where it's been back and forth battles, but in both those games we've been fighting, working extremely hard. So you can't fault effort. We just gotta, I guess, be better. But they were a better team today for sure.
You were blitzing quite a bit today. Was that part of the game plan today to kind of come up with it? It kind of wasn't. The game, it's just kind of how the game goes about, I guess you could say. Sometimes we're going to play man more. Like last week we played a lot of man. This week we thought we were going to play man, maybe thought we were going to play press a little bit, and then we get to the game and you're blitzing. But, just got to be prepared for everything. Just kind of keep the quarterback off his toes for sure.
How did you guys feel like, did you guys feed off that crowd? They got some false starts, delay games. How is that helping you guys?
Yeah, it helps 100%. When they have to go on silent count, that also helps me blitzing because I can see the quarterback when he's about to snap the ball. So that's extremely helpful in me getting jump on the count. But yeah, the crowd definitely played a big factor today.
You guys are on the field when Hank was warming up, but what did you see from the sideline for him having to step in that moment, and how did you kind of try to encourage him as a defensive unit in a really tumultuous moment in the game?
Yeah, just kind of telling him we got his back. I love Hank. Hang out with him all the time. Great dude. Definitely a competitor. He's going to give it everything he has. And he's going to work extremely hard on every single play, every single practice. And that's what I love about him.
You missed out on the interception talk that Xavier came hard up the middle on that blitz. Was that just, did you kind of feel that was coming?
It was zero pressure, so I was kind of flat-footing, knowing the ball has to come out, anticipating an in-breaking route. And he gets pressure, so quarterback throws it high, and then I'm just in the right spot at the right time.
How would you evaluate the defense as a whole today?
Yeah, we worked extremely hard, battled every single play. Obviously, we weren't good enough today. They came out on top, but can't fault effort. We gave it 100% for sure.
I don't know if you can evaluate a guy like Mendoza. There's obviously a lot of talk and hype around him. As just a quarterback, what did you feel like you saw out of him today?
Yeah, he's a good player. He made some throws under pressure. Obviously, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think that was his first turnover this year. So he's an extremely smart individual, and they got a good team.
Stop seemed like very similar plays there. Just what did you see on those?
I think it's just a great call by Coach Parker. He called a zero pressure, and I was just trying to execute what my number was called, and I just shot the gap and tried to tackle the dive, and I was right on both times.
Did you anticipate that they were going to go for it after they took the timeout? I think it was the first 4th and 1. Did you anticipate that they were still on there going for it?
Yeah. I watched a lot of tape on them this past season from last year, and they went for a lot of times on 4th down. And you kind of always got to be prepared for that. And so when they came out of the huddle on 4th and 1, we were all ready to go.
Koen, as well as the defense plays, it's just, I don't know, they were a pill to swallow, just frustrating. I don't know, how would you kind of sum it up? Yeah,
I think I kind of really look back on myself. I think I could have played better in a lot of moments. That first touchdown they scored, I think it was the second play of the game. I have to be better. That was an opportunity when my number was called and I didn't execute. And I think look at that as that's a deciding factor. The zero pressure at the end of the game. I maybe even could have popped out on the full slide and maybe got my hand out and maybe batted that ball down. So, We all just got to look at the plays that we missed out on. I think, every single time you play football, whether you're middle school football, high school football, you always leave some plays out there. I think just the biggest thing is, during this bye week, we got to obviously rest, recover, collect our bearings, and just find a way to just keep pushing more each and every practice. Find a way to give more because, there's a lot of football ahead. They're a great team. But I think we're just as good as them, and it just comes down to the daily disciplines and just how can we win the day each and every day and stack days and then stack weeks and then hopefully stack some wins together.
Well, holding them to 35 points below their season average, 250 yards total offense below their season average, you have to feel good about what the defense accomplished.
Yeah, I really only care about winning and losing. That's really the main stat I care about, and so I'm gonna be honest. That's the number one stat I focus on. Rutgers, we didn't play that well. They had I think 300 passing yards, but we found a way to win. And I think that's the most important part. And today, unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. So we got to go back to the drawing board. Maybe tweak some things in practice. Whether it's the intensity and things like that we're bringing as players. And we just got to find a way to keep fighting, keep pushing.
You just listed off a couple of things that you felt personally you could have done better. How do you not let that eat you alive, and how do you let it make you better?
Yeah, I kind of just try and flush it. I write on my tape like a little reset button every play, and just, even when I get too high, or even too low, just try and reset, and just worry about the next play. And I think that's what we're gonna have to do this season. It's just game by game. We can't. Unfortunately, this game's over. It's a loss. Can't change it, but what we can change is, our attitude and the effort that we bring for the rest of the season.
What do you think about Coach calling those timeouts? You guys fighting until the last second on the clock. They were coming out ready to shake hands in 2013, but you guys kept fighting.
Yeah, I think that's just a testament to what Coach Parker preaches about just relentless effort. And we just got to find a way to bring that, the full 60 minutes. I think there was some times where, I know myself personally slipped on that relentless effort. So we all just got to find a way to bring it every single minute, every single second, every single play.
What do you see on their sideline at scrum before that full
second? I'm gonna be honest. I seen a bunch of tussle, and I wasn't about to go over there. I didn't want to get a penalty, but yeah, I can't answer that question.
In those close games, you guys have obviously been on both ends of it. What separates, I guess, you guys from winning in this really close, thin margin?
Yeah, I think it's just it comes down to just executing when your number's called. I think Zach Lutmer, he did an amazing job. He made that interception when we needed him most, and I think it just comes down to us on defense doing that all the time. On that fourth down, that third down where they scored the fourth quarter, we just got to find a way, like I was saying, to execute when my number's called. If I can't get there, I got to pop out a little bit quicker and try and get my hand up, and maybe I can help my team win the game.
Two more questions. Zach's interception, you started talking about it a little bit. That was the first time that he has been picked off all season. Yeah. How did that boost this team in such a close game when you guys needed your number called like that?
Yeah, Coach Ferentz says, the best players make the best plays in the best moments, and I think, Zach's one of our best players on this team, and we really needed a play, and he stepped up, and he made that play, and I'm just so appreciative to have him on our team, and we just got to find a way to keep building and get some more turnovers to help this offense.
As a captain, how do you, with obviously it hurting in the moment, but there's still a lot of season, how do you approach that as a leader of the team?
Yeah, I think just the biggest thing is I just got to continue to motivate other people and lead by example. I think it's easy to be a rah-rah guy and just talk the whole time, but I think it's most important that I lead by example and try and just bring that relentless effort each and every practice. There's some days that it's hard. But, life's hard, and you got to just show up and do it no matter what, because my team needs me to do it, and we all need each other at the end of the day. We need the janitors, we need the scout team guys, we need the coaches, we need the guys in the recruiting department. We all win and lose together, so we just need everybody to be firing on all cylinders. And, if I can just do that every single day, I can, maybe motivate maybe 2 or 3 people to do it, and then, it just spreads.
Yeah, a huge part of our team and of the running back room. But, we got the mindset of it got to be the next man up, especially in this environment, just being prepared. And I like everybody in the running back room. I feel like we could all get the job done. So I feel like he could have been a big advantage for us, but we still got to keep moving forward.
It took a bit for you guys to get your run game going more positively. What were they doing early, and what did you guys adjust to?
It's really just getting our feet underneath us, not letting the moment be too big for us. Really just settling in and knowing who we are as a team, as an O-line and a run back room. And I felt like as time kept going, we just kept putting our foot on the gridiron.
I know Nathan's played a little bit, but obviously, more continued run in a game that mattered, in the middle of it. I mean, what have you seen from him? It just kind of seemed like he was unfazed.
Really just his mindset. He came in just knowing that he wanted to be something. So really him just keeping that mindset and just feeding off everybody. Like, we all want the best for each other. So just knowing that when you're out on the field, we expect you to do the same thing, no matter who it is. So I think he's going to be nice.
Can you tell me about that screen call that went awry there at the end? Is that play you guys run a ton in practice? Is that a good play for you guys typically?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like if it had been completed, it definitely could have changed the difference in the game. But, you can't sit and pawn on that. You just got to look forward and be prepared next time.
When Mark goes out, I guess, what is it like for you as you kind of quarterback change?
Just knowing Mark and how good of a leader is, also knowing that Hank is a good leader as well. So when Mark went out, we just knew that Hank could come in, and he showed us plenty of times in practice that he could do it. So him going in, we just try to keep him up and motivated and just being ready for the time.
Did Mark say anything to you guys?
Yeah, just keep our head up and that Hank go make a play for us, just being a great leader as he is and just keeping us sane through the whole way through.
I know you guys, they kind of routed you early as far as stopping the run, but it just seemed like you really weren't pressing, you weren't trying to force things that couldn't be there. I guess how would you kind of describe the journey from when you first got here and kind of evolving into being a patient runner and just, staying in your keys?
Really just being out there. The more you out there, the more you see the game and how the flow go, and just really just being comfortable. When I go out there, I try to take a deep breath before every play and just say, like, we need this now. So just being comfortable.
What would you say you learned about Hank today?
That he's a competitor. He waited the whole game. He didn't play, but he came in and delivered some passes that we needed, and that we could do it. And I have faith in our whole offense and our whole team that we could come back from this.
What did the rest of the offense say to Hank when his number's called? What did you guys tell him on the sideline, walking about in the huddle and all that?
Really that we got his back just as much as he got ours, and that we're prepared for anything and we prepare for the fight, and that we believe in him, that he could lead us to whatever we need to be.
Kamari, I guess, in emotional loss, it seemed like you guys on the injury front, a couple guys got dinged up today. I guess how important is this bye week going to be for you guys, and to just kind of be mentally and emotionally reset as well as get healthy?
It's definitely important. We've been in football for about 5 weeks now, including fall camp. So really just taking this time and to get a deep breath and, sit back and rewatch things that we could improve on. Really gonna help us out, and now we're gonna use this bye week to take the next step forward.